Welcome, everyone, to the PW Fan, the ultimate pro wrestling podcast created by fans for the fans. This is episode 127. I'm your host, the collector, barber, musician, and most importantly, a professional wrestling podcaster, Talk Wrestling, Tim Gilbert.
And I'm your host, the architect of pro wrestling podcast, Andy.
I'm also your host, the No Selling Wrestling Indie fan and football lover, Jeremy.
All right, wrestling fans, today we will be discussing and reviewing the happenings in the world of professional wrestling this week, and that includes Rhea Ripley updates, new WWE tag titles. They got a new look to them. We'll be talking about that. Our review of AEW Dynasty, and more. Before we start this week's episode, like we ask in the beginning of all episodes, please go to youtube.com/@thepwfanpod. Like, subscribe. If you're gonna watch a video, do a double load. You know, that helps get the view count up.
A double load.
Give us a quick double load or a double refresh. Thank you, boys.
Andy's face.
It's good. It's what the kids are doing these days. Gen Z knows how to play the game. They know.
Wow. All right. Talking about kids and double loads now.
All right. Whoa. I don't want Skeeter Hansen or Skeet Hansen together.
We're gonna get demonetized right away.
Craig, you should really talk about this with me. We do have the cops on standby, Craig. Craig, don't run. This man is here to me. All right.
You call him Skeeter Hansen? Chris Hansen?
No, there's another guy that I watch all the time. There's Chris Hansen, but there's this Andy. There's this guy that looks like Redmond, and even like kind of talks like Redmond, but he like dresses in a suit and he'll like lure the guys to like Targets and Walmarts and stuff. And he always has like he's like, Dave, I have the chat log right here. Dave, it's beyond words what I'm looking at right here. And then sometimes they'll run and he'll be like, sometimes they'll run and he's like, we got a runner. He'll start chasing him. And he's like, Dave, don't make me run.
Andy,
right.
This is all staying in.
Back to pro wrestling. Skeeter Gene. It's Skeeter Gene on YouTube. Skeet Hansen, as he goes by. And before we move on, after he catches the predator, he'll say, "I just need you to know that I'm Skeet Hansen, and you've just been skeeted." All the PW fan listeners just discovered their new favorite YouTube channel. You're welcome. But that takes care of YouTube. For all other social media, look up at the PW Fan, and we should pop right up. Andy, episode 1
is going to make a clip of us talking about that.
Oh no, Skeeter, come on, Skeeter. Dave, don't make me run after you, Dave. I will.
Let's get into the show.
Here we go, Andy. Talk about wrestling.
Before we get into it, Dark Side of the Ring this week was Chris Adams. Not sure if you guys saw the episode, but I'm sure Tim knows about Chris Adams. He's the old school pro wrestling fan. Chris Adams.
Oh, dude, Chris Adams is he was good friends with Jeannie, who is Stone Cold's ex-wife. And there's been other
together.
Yeah, there's been other documentaries, but they were down in the Dallas Sportatorium.
He trained Steve.
Yeah, and Dallas Sportatorium. That's where they all wrestled.
But he had a alcohol and drug problem. His final stint was in WCW, but he was kind of like a jobber, getting over the other talent in the end. But yeah, next week's episode of Dark Side of the Ring is the Sensational Sherry. And let's see, WWE Treasures on A&E started this week. Or no, started last week. I talked about it was about WCW, but this week I just finished the episode was about Dusty Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes and Mick Foley and Cody and Lita went around, and they got what did they get? They got Cody had his fur coat. Cody had Dusty used to journal. He used to do all of his booking in these red journals, and Cody had all these booking journals from Dusty, with all of his notes and the money made from each night. And then they were able to get on loan from someone the original black and yellow polka dot gear, and they were able to get. I'm sure Tim knows his custom, because he at one point didn't wrestle in wrestling boots. He wrestled in cowboy boots.
Yeah.
So they were able to get that pair of white cowboy boots with like roads on the side.
Yeah, it's interesting. You look a lot of the footage from the 70s. A lot of the guys were wearing these kind of cowboy looking wrestling boots. Conrad has somebody's. I think it is Dusty's. He has it on he has it's on a.
There's a bunch of pairs out there, I'm sure.
Yeah, but when he's doing his podcast, he has one behind him on like a shelf.
The most interesting part of the episode was, though, there's an old story now. When Cody was a kid, Dusty wasn't making any money, had to sell a bunch of his memorabilia, right? So Cody's going to these houses, and he's seeing all this stuff that used to be in his house, and he used to wear and stuff, and like in his mind, he's like, "That's like mine."
Did he cry?
Like, no, but he was just like, he's like, but I understand.
It's close to.
He's like, I also understand though that like this is what happens when you sell stuff, when you sell your things. You know, It's not yours anymore. But he's like, yeah, that hat, and like my sister used to wear those hats, but like, so he's like,
so these were like a fan's house. This was like fans' houses.
Yeah, that's what they do in every episode. They go to a collector's house, like, and these guys just have like wrestling shrines.
That's gotta be weird to see that. Like, that's my dad's stuff, and it's like at a random person's house.
He's like, I used to like wear that and like see this stuff all the time, and like, so because of that, he's like subconsciously like, this is my stuff, but like he's seeing it being taken care of in a right way. So it was interesting. He talked about that kind of thing a bunch of times.
Yeah, we talked about that one video that WWE had behind the scenes when Cody got the watch from Triple H and Nikon. Yeah.
And I found out because I was like, how did they track it down?
We talked about this. It's a serial number.
Yeah, you can track Rolex's serial numbers and where they go.
We were like, I don't know why we didn't think of that 4 episodes ago. We were like so mind blown by the concept. We're like, dude,
like, how the hell
I can't believe they found it. But it's like,
we're like, he's a billionaire. He can do it.
In other news, Broken Matt Hardy is a free agent and popped up in TNA after Moose's match with Nick Nemeth. But he is a free agent. He's not just for TNA.
And he's a broken gimmick, like fully broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twist of fate move. That's all I can think of. Is there anything else you guys can think of, not show related?
Just a thing that I was talking about before we start recording. The NXT is doing that show at what's it called? UFC Apex. Their like training arena, basically, where they do Ultimate Fighter. I think it is. Yeah,
the next NXT pay-per-view Battleground will be there. I assume it's because they're doing one of the matches as like NXT Underground.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see how it's going to look there, though.
It's going to be Natalia against Lola Vice, who used to be a MMA fighter. She was either in UFC or in like Bellator, one of the two. But
are they going to have like the mat, like UFC mat, you think, or like a ring?
I have no idea. Like, you know how they chop off the post and they did it like before, that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But let's get into the actual shows this week. Raw opened up with, so I guess the week before, unless she was hurt before Mania, but they were saying that Rhea got hurt in the backstage attack by Liv Morgan the week before. Did you guys read if she was maybe already hurt at Mania and worked through it, or it's like her shoulder area?
Yeah, I just saw that it was during like the segment with Liv.
Well, Rhea had to vacate the title. Liv Morgan would come out and kind of taunt her afterwards. So, you know, as we're recording this, so there's going to be maybe it's the main event There's a battle royal with basically every woman on the roster to crown a new champion. So next week we'll be able to talk about who's taking over. But they said only like 4 times has a title been decided in a battle royal like this,
which is kind of crazy. I didn't even realize. I thought they were going to do like a whole tournament for this.
Nope,
but...
this is not AEW. So
we can't roast him this week, but we'll get into it.
No, yeah,
not this week.
So after that, Sheamus returned and was body shamed by the internet, and people photoshopped him terribly.
Too many pies. Too many pies.
His response was that he's big boned. That's what he said.
Yeah, I was like, fair enough to him. He like kind of joked around with it too.
Yeah. But he would defeat Ivar. Fans were happy to see him back. It'll be interesting to see what they do with them. There was a new tag team titles that were revealed. At first, I did not like them until I actually saw a photo of them by themselves online, and I could actually see the detail. Which it's like 2 lions on the side, but like I could not tell that from watching on TV. Tim calls them the pizza titles. What are your guys' thoughts on the Raw tag titles? Which are they were called the World Tag titles, right?
World Tag Team titles, yeah.
For Raw.
Which they used to be called like that before.
Yeah. Tim, thoughts?
They'll grow on me, I think. I don't hate them.
It's a good step.
Yeah, they're better than what we had.
Look, they went from a copper to a nickel to a golden dollar. All right.
The fact that they made it copper, like it's like a 3rd place.
And those like lame ass like gladiator heads on there. Dude, those belts.
Yeah. Yeah. Those were worse.
So there was a number 1 contenders match.
They stayed way too long. I would take the Cena spinner belt any day over those. Those Rome tag titles. Ugh.
So there was a number 1 contenders match announced to see who's going to face R-Truth and Miz next. Which this match actually took place tonight, but so the number 1 contenders match was DIY defeating the New Day and Creed Brothers tonight on Raw. The DIY went against Miz and R-Truth. All right. Andrade had a match against Dominic Mysterio, which he won. Afterwards, Judgment Day attacked, and Ricochet would come to the save. I don't know what they're planning on doing with Andrade and Ricochet, but we will have to see. I should mention, should have said at the top of the show, going to be going kind of fast because we're trying to get to Dynasty. There's a lot to cover. Cody Rhodes had a segment on Raw where he basically talked about he thinks that The Rock has more than 1 match left in him.
SummerSlam.
Could be. Or it could be, the other rumor is saving it for Mania 41, Cody versus Rock, whether he has the title or not.
Well, yeah.
Jey Uso would defeat Finn Balor, and afterwards he fights off a post-match beatdown somehow from the Judgment Day. All by himself. Sami Zayn would defeat Chad Gable to retain the Intercontinental Championship, and afterwards Chad Gable would turn into Perk Angle and turn heel. Yeah. No, I think this is good for Chad.
Yeah.
I hope it gets.
I also love the entrance of Sammy in this one with the 1 shot.
Oh, did a lot of people backstage apparently. It was a hit.
Yeah.
The 1 shot. Yeah. Then I saw a video of it comparing it to Kevin Dunn. And
oh my god!
Counting all of his camera cuts.
Fucking Kevin Dunn.
It was like 9 camera cuts. It was like just 1 following Sammy.
Yeah. Kevin Dunn deprived us of this.
It's so much better. You know who they got? Brian Last was saying that I think it was a guy from ESPN, and that's why it has like such a more sports-based kind of feel to it.
Okay.
Like it feels more.
Cool.
I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that wraps up Raw. Let's get into Dynamite. All of AEW shows were go-home shows. I did not cover Collision this week because I didn't feel like there was anything worth talking about. But I did have 2 things from Rampage, surprisingly. John Moxley opened up Dynamite talking about his win for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Brody King and Julia Hart would team up and defeat Willow and Adam Copeland in a mixed tag match. Mercedes Moné runs out with a chair afterwards. Chris Jericho would upset Hook. During this segment, Hook and Taz and Jericho were out in the ring. Jericho would end up pushing Taz, and Taz would fall back, and Hook would threaten Jericho ahead of their match at Dynasty. The Acclaimed and Bullet Club Gold both had separate promos, backstage promos on one another. This would lead to a title unification match set for Dynasty on the 0 Hour, which is crazy because both of these teams were over as hell a few months ago. Now they're on the 0 Hour. I know one match.
And also, there was a unification match.
It's a titles unification match of both sets of trios titles. I know one match on the Dynasty card that could have been swapped out for this.
Only
by the
about
way,
one.
for watching Raw. You guys watching Raw?
I have it on.
Yeah.
He's doing his little sit, and there's a sign behind him that says, "Hey, punk, cry me a river." Main event of Dynamite was Will Ospreay defeating Claudio Castagnoli. The Don Callis family would attack afterwards. While Will Ospreay kind of looks in confusion, I say that Ospreay's on his way out of his short-lived time in the Don Callis family. John Moxley comes out and goes after Hobbs, who he had called out in the beginning of the show during his segment, and is going to have a IWGP Championship match against him this Wednesday. Rampage was on 420, and so
420.
in the spirit of that,
It was on Friday, wasn't it? Saturday was 420.
So this week Collision and Rampage were back to back on Saturday.
Oh, that's right.
So because of the 420, there was the high flying 420 elimination fatal 4-way, which RVD would win.
Of course, he has to.
So that was fun. And then Ruby Soho and Angela Parker, who I found out recently are actually dating in real life. Or Angelo was basically teasing at retiring, saying he has nothing left to fight for because he thought him and Ruby broke up, and that's why he got into it with Zach Knight. Ruby would come out and announce that he does have something to fight for because she is pregnant. They showed sonogram photos on Instagram. It is true.
El Brigante.
They are dating, and Ruby is pregnant. So
It's a shoot baby.
Yeah. Oh, like
having a shoot baby.
Ric Flair and Lacey Evans.
Yeah.
You remember that during the pandemic? God.
Oh my god.
Dude, Vince was a real sicko, wasn't he?
Yeah. Thinking back on it now, you're like, oh god.
SmackDown. Let's get into that. AJ Styles opening contest would defeat LA Knight. It is now AJ versus Cody, set for Backlash.
I'm excited for that one.
I'm very excited for this one. If people don't know, oh, look who's out here. Body shame the shit out of him. Those that don't know, AJ Styles defeated Dusty Rhodes in 2003 in TNA. You can watch that match on YouTube, but Cody and AJ have never crossed.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which, do you think they're going to use like their footage from the Bullet Club? Because like they're technically both
they could make an
leaders of
interesting
that
story. They could
Or,
really
like,
do something.
their paths never crossed until now, and they've been like similar past too.
What they need is a triple threat of Finn, Cody, and AJ.
Oh yeah.
Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga arrive in the arena, and Solo asks Heyman where Kevin Owens is. I don't know if y'all noticed, but Solo is now wearing suits, almost like he's been promoted and is in that kind of higher position. Just like Raw, new tag team titles were unveiled to Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Grayson Waller was disrespectful to Triple H during the segment, and Nick Aldis was not having it. All right, so thoughts on these tag titles?
These ones are nice. I like
these are
They
cool.
look just like the old WWF, just minus the colorway.
Exactly.
Yeah, these are
That's
cool.
what we said we wanted, right?
Yes.
Do you like him too?
Yes.
Okay. Do you like him better than the Monday Night Raw ones?
Yes. Well, much more.
Okay. I love
Yes.
And just like Raw, though, there was a number one contenders match, which ended up being a triple threat, just like Raw, which the Street Profits would win by defeating AOP and New Catch Republic. So I'm guessing, like, Backlash, if all these matches on Backlash, we have Damian Priest and Jey Uso, AJ and Cody.
Probably gonna be both tag team
and
titles.
Miz. Awesome Truth and Miz against.
Yeah.
Oh no, never mind, because that happened tonight. So I could be wrong with the tag titles.
They probably will, because it's in France, so it's gonna be a big one. It's not like gonna be like one of those 2.5 hour pay-per-views.
Solo Sikoa would come out with Paul Heyman, and who could not produce Kevin Owens. Solo was upset and came our pants towards the Titantron, and Kevin Owens gets thrown out there. He's bleeding, and behind him is Tama Tonga, who has found Kevin Owens backstage, and basically they beat the hell out of him. Kevin Owens gets brought back. He's walking back, and then Owens, he fights, and he ran back in just to get the shit beat out of him again. It's shown out back that Tama Tonga had rammed a car into Kevin Owens' car, which I guess is how they are saying that Tama got him. And so Paul Heyman seems like he's all flustered and he doesn't know how to navigate this new bloodline. I did read Roman, even though he's filming a movie and stuff. He's on his way to be. He's following The Rock's footsteps. Let's just say that. All right. He is, though, apparently very involved in the bloodline creative of what's going on. So
isn't he writing some of it?
Yeah, he has a big influence, they say, on what's going on. So
that's kind of cool.
It's still the same old bloodline of like who's coming up with it. It's not like it's gonna fall flat because some other writer take over. He's very involved still.
Yeah.
Jade and Bianca are shown in the skybox near Damage Control. This kind of teased what, to me, Jade and Bianca are going to be going after the Kabuki Warriors for those tag titles. They were shown in the skybox as both teams watched the main event, which was Bayley versus Naomi, which was a solid match until it ended in no contest due to Tiffany Stratton. Tiffy Time came out and attacked both women. I'd be curious to see if we get Bayley versus Tiffany or we get a triple threat at Backlash between them.
Also, Tim, what are you holding right now?
That is his massager for his back.
It's a back massager.
I was like, what is that?
It's a self back massager. So I have a bad left side of my neck and shoulder. So sorry, I was in pain while recording. I couldn't take it anymore.
I need to go back and watch this segment when we're done. Sheamus, I don't know if you guys have the sound on, but
yeah, Sheamus and Drew.
All right, let's get into Dynasty. Fantastic show for the most part. I give it out of 10. I might give it 7.5, 8 maybe. And here's why.
I gave it an 8.5.
Here's why.
I was right around that range.
Jericho
too.
match. I deduct points for the Jericho match.
I think everyone did.
I deduct points of how I could have felt about the pay-per-view had I been more invested.
It's also a good point.
Other than that, almost a perfect show.
Yeah. I don't really count the pre-show because that would also deduct points for me, but I'm not going to count it.
No. But I will talk about the pre-show. Trent Beretta versus Matt Sydal ended in disqualification because Trent Beretta would not let go of his submission. He attacks Matt and Mike. Is that Matt's brother's name? Mike Sydal?
I believe so, yeah.
And then Chuck Taylor would come out and Trent would walk away saying he wants a decision soon from Chuck of if he's with him or not.
Chuck is stuck in the middle.
And apparently my friend just texted me, he said, this is the Sheamus and Drew McIntyre segment. He's like, this is just a fat shaming segment. what he said.
Wait, I got because we can't hear the audio, so Drew's like probably like,
Yeah.
"What's up, Tubby?"
Okay. Second 0 hour match was Orange Cassidy and Shibata defeating Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. And this is what I was saying. So on the 0 hour, it was Bullet Club Gold versus the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn in title unification match. Also, this is confusing before I say who won. So the announcer announced them as the Bang Bang Gang. The Titantron said Bang Bang Gang, Bang Bang Gang, but then the little banner across the screen said Bullet Club Gold.
Yeah.
I'm just like, are they officially Bullet Club Gold when Juice is around, and when they're not, they're just the Bang Bang Gang? Or
Are they always they were the Bang Gang? I don't know.
They were the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, and maybe they always were. I don't know. Maybe they just can't make up their mind. But Bullet Club Gold would defeat the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn and get both sets of trios titles.
Max Caster's rap sucked.
Something about sucking dick.
What happened to him?
It just wasn't good. Just as bad. And
I know,
choppy.
but like, didn't he used to be funny and like I don't know, clever, and now it's like everyone's like, I don't know, it's not good.
I don't know. I just know it's
I don't know
a
what it is,
shame
but it's
that
not good.
Jay White is on a pre-show. It's a shame, in my opinion.
Yeah.
How weird is it that the two at one point, Bullet Club Gold and they're
still over.
I know they're
It's not
still
like they're
over,
not
but
over.
they were way more over, and now you got them on the pre-show.
Yeah.
Because the scissor
Bullet Club
died
Gold
down.
Yeah, Bullet Club Gold can still be over. I don't know the Acclaim can be anymore.
I think the Acclaim's done.
Get rid of the scissors.
That fire's burnt out.
Yeah.
You need them to turn on like Billy Gunn and go heel or something.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right, main card. There's a couple matches I'm like, I mean, there is one match that I'm like match of the night, but then there's other matches I'm like, this match is fucking banger.
Yeah.
Starting with Okada and Pac, man. Okada and Pac was very good.
It was a great match.
Though I was talking to my friend, I'm like, the way Okada was presented in New Japan was like in such a grand way, and now he just feels like another guy. Is that just me?
Well, he's like corporate Okada right now.
But he doesn't feel like that grand presence that you would like when you're watching, like, say, Tokyo, like Wrestle Kingdom stuff in the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah. Well, that's also, like, I think, just the overall presentation of AEW.
There's way too many belts in AEW. Also, I'll just say that off the top.
My
thoughts on Okada and Pac, guys?
I mean, the match was a fucking banger. It ripped. Mm-hmm. I loved it. I mean, dude, yeah. I'm gonna be saying that again. Like, I feel like we're going back to the old days where I'm like, dude, it was really good. It was good. Really, every match, I'm like, it was good.
I mean, I expected Okada to win, which he did. And this was for his Continental Championship.
Yeah.
Poor Pac, though. I feel like he never wins when he's on pay-per-view in a singles match.
Yeah, and this was like his return match too.
Dude, apparently Pat I look, this is allegedly, this is just dirt sheet shit. Like, this isn't like any real numbers. I saw something that Pac makes like $10 million a year. I'm sure he ain't worried about who's winning and losing. Dude,
I don't know. Like, isn't Okada like one of the highest paid ones, and he doesn't even get 10 a year?
Yeah.
There was some sort of, or maybe not 10.
Maybe it's like overall, like throughout his years in AEW so far. Yeah, which is still a lot. I feel like he's being Moxley, there like 2 years.
Yeah, Moxley and him are apparently some of the higher paid.
Yeah. I mean, Moxley makes sense. He's there like every single night.
Moxley makes $6 million.
Yeah.
Elite get paid $3 to $6 million a year for 4 years. Is what I'm reading.
So it's spread out through those 4 years then, right?
Yeah. Next match was House of Black. Sorry. Oh, sorry, go on. Which is what?
No, I was just going to say, which is crazy to me, like, I don't know, like, looking at sports players getting contracts of, like, millions of dollars per year, like, tens of millions, and then wrestlers who do, like, I feel like they do so much more, and they only get, like, $1 million a year, which is considered a lot.
I don't know. The risk of concussion in football is way crazier than.
Right. When you take like the most dangerous
wrestling.
sport as the example.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
I forgot. You
I don't know.
Sports, not football.
I don't know, brother. Chris Benoit would beg to differ. He might say, "Hey," he'd say, "Look at my brain."
CT is crazy in football, man. You just have guys. We're not gonna go down this road. Let's just continue.
Look at my
All
brain,
right.
pal.
Sorry, I said something.
And I don't want to talk about Mr. Wolverine. All right.
Oh my god.
The new
All
trailer.
right, what's the
for
next match?
Wolverine dropped today, and it looks fantastic.
And that does look really good.
It looks amazing. There's a lot more shown in this one. Anyway, House of Black defeated Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe. This is why I said there's way too many titles. All three of those guys came out with titles. And I'm like, all right.
What does Eddie have?
Eddie was the Triple Crown, but that was only because he held 3 titles, which were the Continental Crown, the strong open weight, and ROH. He's lost the ROH to Mark Briscoe, and he lost the Continental to
Okada.
So he must be the open weight if he's walking out with a title, unless he has a title that is not related to.
Well, that's
AEW
also like
ROH.
the other like issue, I guess, is that they bring other promotions titles like New Japan onto their show too.
Yeah, it can be a good thing.
Yeah,
You here with us?
but this
Tim?
match wasn't bad. It was just good, I thought.
Tim's bringing up Skeeter Hansen.
No, it wasn't.
I'm just kidding. I will watch after we get done. Anyway,
You better.
I think it would be important for you to. I think it would be good for you to stay here so we could have a conversation. We do have the police on standby.
Don't run away from me, Dave.
Don't run, Dave.
Don't run.
So what I liked about the House of Black match, this 6-man tag match, is they kept teasing Adam Copeland and Malachi. Yes, the ending was a. Is it still called Black Mass?
Yeah, I think it is.
If it's not, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. The kick
The finisher
to Adam. It was a mist and then a kick to Adam, and that's how they ended it. But they kept teasing them, actually going at it for more than that, and it never really happened. I'm hoping that this leads to, say, a TBS or TNT title match between Malachi and Edge.
Like it should, right? Because I have been teasing that, so
I would think.
Yeah.
But yeah, House of Black would end up winning. Speaking of House of Black, Julia Hart would be defeated and lose her TBS championship to Willow Nightingale in this next
She had a
match.
good reaction.
She did. I forget what I read today about Julia Hart, but I guess she's going to... It was something about her basically getting back into it. I forget what I read about Julia Hart.
You were like, Julia Hart? You're like, I had read something that Julia Hart. It was like a weird way that you said her name.
All right. Anyway, Willow Nightingale's your new TBS champion. Mercedes Moné came out.
Andy, one more time?
Next in line for the title.
Andy, what is it?
Mercedes Moné.
There.
Monet.
It's also Monet, but
So they made a point of calling out that she was taking the spotlight. So I'm thinking that she's going to be a heel.
God forbid those two ever face each other. Andy's going to have a hard time saying both of those names. He's like, it was Julia Hart versus Mercedes Moné.
This next match I felt like was a sleeper. It was very good. I'm sure the people that saw it was really good, but I don't think people are really talking about it. Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly was a banger. And I saw someone comment and be like, too bad Kyle O'Reilly is just 2013 Bryan Danielson. I was like, God damn
it. You're like, now I can't unsee it.
Yeah. But this match was really good. You never know with friends sometimes whether they're going to have good chemistry or not, and these two did. Roderick Strong
we saw that with
winning.
and even beyond friends. We saw that with the Usos and their brothers.
And the Hardys.
Yeah.
But we've also seen people not really have chemistry, such as I remember Edge and Eddie had trouble back in the day.
Edge and Eddie in matches.
Mm-hmm. Edge said it took them a while till they finally, after like their like third.
But dude, that one
I
that
think
was
was
on the ladder match on
ladder match.
SmackDown
Yeah.
is so fucking brutal. Actually, you
That's
know
when
what?
they finally got it right here.
That's my classic show of the week. We'll get out of the way now. Go on SmackDown, watch Edge versus Eddie Guerrero ladder match. Dude, it's crazy. Those guys kill each other.
But after the Roderick Strong match, the Undisputed Kingdom would come out. Adam Cole's rolled out in a wheelchair, but he stands up. Looks like Adam Cole's walking again. He's still not going to be in the ring anytime soon, though. But during this segment,
how bad did he injure that ankle?
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it was all he did was step off a fucking stage.
Yeah, right. He rolled it and then was like, "I'm done."
I'm sure anyone that watched this segment though noticed Adam Cole basically mean mugging fucking Wardlow the entire time.
Yeah.
I guess because he lost that title match to Samoa Joe and couldn't bring it back to the Undisputed Kingdom.
Yeah.
Then
our favorite match of the night.
Favorite match of the night coming up. So after Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly, our favorite match, guys, Jericho versus Hook for the FTW Championship with the FTW rules. You want to talk about the chants first? There was Fozzy Sucks. There was Go Home Jericho.
Yeah. So this crowd was pretty good at chants, but the Please Retire I'd never like.
So disrespectful. I don't care.
Please Retire
who
is lame. Guys, don't
chant.
chant. Don't. When they did it to the Big Show, it was horrible, and I don't like this either.
Still, it's the one that stands out in my mind is when he like teared up, man.
Yeah, that one was like depressing when I was in Big Show because I was like, come on, like.
Did Jericho look like he lost a step in this match, guys?
I mean, yeah.
What did you not like about the match? What was bad about it? Tell me.
It's just there's not. It's not a real title. First of all, second of all, there's no meat on the bone here. The story is not good. They've tried,
and
to,
also,
you pushed my dad.
The fact that Jericho won
is the learning tree, Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I hate it, and the fact that he won, like. Oh, let's put over this young star over here because he's going to beat you.
I will have every title once. No matter how small. Even the non-existent one.
He's like, listen to them out there. I need this.
He's like, yeah. He almost died going through a table.
We should make a meme that's like Chris Jericho seeing The Rock with the Muhammad Ali title, and it's like him frustrated because he can't get it.
Yeah. You know what I love is like those memes. Like I see them on Twitter all the time. They're like Jericho when he's facing, or when he has to put over younger talent, and it's like Hollywood Hulk Hogan, like when he's doing like the poses and everything.
Oh, it's so good.
You saw that spot though where Hook flipped him and Jericho went through a table and like landed on his fucking head.
That was actually pretty. Other than him landing on his head, but that was actually a good spot. But yeah.
Yeah, because you're like, I love it when Jericho gets hurt. This match.
The weird thing was that Jericho then when he won, he was like walking up the ramp, like waving to like the fans, like he was like the baby face.
Yeah, it's like pretending your shit doesn't stink, or it's part of the character. Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe that's going to be his character. Is that he's like the delusional old wrestler?
Yeah, delusional.
Like, he's still the man.
Yeah, that could be, yeah.
Well, his body doesn't look like the man. Our next match was Tony Storm defeating Thunder Rosa.
Give the guy a break.
His steroid flat.
This is the problem with all you wrestling fans.
His ex-steroid body. His chest that is leaving each other, going in separate directions.
Leaving each other.
They're going this way.
Right.
Kylie Ray. Tony Storm defeated Thunder Rosa in an AEW Women's Championship match. Thunder Rosa came out in a mask and did not have her typical face paint. At one point, one of them was kicked in the vagina, I believe. There was a badge kick. If I'm not
Badge
mistaken.
kick.
It was a badge kick, man.
Yeah.
What you think of the match, Jeremy?
I thought it was pretty good. I feel like Tony, like, I don't know, for some reason, I'm not so invested in Tony Storm like other people are, like her character, I mean. But her matches are always pretty good, I think. But it was just a good match. It wasn't anything crazy, I don't think.
I was kind of hoping Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter would come out.
Yeah, that would have been nice to have something like that.
Well, you want to talk about what she said during the media scrum? Real quick.
Yeah, she, in her character, what's she called, Tony? Anthony, right?
Anthony.
And she was like, just so you know, if like, what was it? Something like,
Just real
if
quick.
I ever win, I'm never going to invite you down to the ring.
Just real quick, people are
I
like,
meant the Nikki
dude,
Bella stuff.
she's so good and like all that. I'm like, nah.
What about her Nikki Bella comments?
No, that was shitty
Oh, her
too.
Nikki
Why
Bella
are we
comment.
doing this? Why are we making fun of Cody, who's one? First of all, Cody's one of the
Where did the
founders
Nikki
of
Bella
the
come
company.
from?
The Nikki Bella thing was
Where
weird.
did Cody come from?
Where did that even come from?
Being edgy.
Oh,
She's
you
like
mean the
weird.
Will
I was like-
Ospreay? Tony said something
No.
about Cody?
Well, she made that joke, to Tony Khan, like, I'll never invite you down to the ring to celebrate with me if I win, or whatever. Or when I win.
Did Cody do that?
And then, like, well, because Triple H came
at
down.
Mania.
Yeah. So that's why everyone's like, why did you need to say that?
Shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, no one else said anything. Like, I feel like no one else said anything other than her. I was like, we were this close to not having the drama.
Didn't Ospreay in his medium scrum say he's not?
He said he's not doing that
talk
anymore.
about other. Yeah,
He said I think he also said like he was disappointed that he did that. Like he felt,
did,
like,
but he also
how
says
stupid.
he doesn't regret it.
Yeah, he said both ways.
Well, speaking
He's
of
like,
Ospreay, this next
I
match.
felt like I had to say what I said, bruv, but I also disappointed. I had to lower myself to their level.
And then I ate
That's actually
beans
pretty
and
awesome.
toast.
Oh no, yours is terrible. Apologies, dog. Apologies to our British Andy. We have British listeners.
That's the only thing that Andy's British character says is beans and toast.
Beans and toast.
They
They probably hear our accent. And they're like, "Hey, these dudes are talking about wrestling." You know that. Eating cheeseburgers. Woo, America.
We're fat as fuck.
I do want a cheeseburger now, though.
Yeah.
Speaking of Will Ospreay, he defeated Bryan Danielson in Match of the Year contender.
I
match
would
of the
think
year?
so. Definitely.
One of the best matches I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You want to talk about any of the stuff that was going on in the match? What was being sold?
I mean, there's not.
Well, I like how it started.
I don't feel like we'll
this
do
is
it.
the thing. Everything was done in every single thing was done in the match. There's not like
I don't think there's something that we could. Yeah, like people, you need
Everything
to just go
happened.
watch it.
There was like sequence, like there was like I think it was more towards the beginning when they started actually going, but like there was like it was like counter after counter, and it was like probably like the third or fourth time when they like, you know, like they after the counters like stopped and looked at each other. But I was like, there was a few of them where I was like, it was seamless. It was like crazy how perfect it was.
You want to talk about the ending?
Only part I didn't like, and it's
But
okay.
Pretty important part. It was almost.
I don't
perfect
think
match.
he. So we'll say that he's not actually injured, Danielson,
It's definitely
but they
not.
made it
what
seem
happened?
that way.
So
I don't think he is, though.
He did the elbow on the outside, missing the ref and hitting Danielson, and then brought Danielson in for a Tiger Driver, and then did the elbow again.
93. Yeah. So
Everyone's
on the Tiger
online saying
Driver
the
is
Tiger
when
Driver
he's
is
supposed.
dangerous and it's banned in other places. And now
Yeah,
Will Ospreay
and
says he's not
so-
going to do it ever again after this.
Yeah. Which that
But-
that was like I was like, okay, well it's definitely a work now. Like
Danielson is it's a work, but Danielson was like yelling like Jesus and fuck and like in the ring and
yeah.
like,
And so he was
convulsing.
holding his shoulder like
And
something
also when
happened
people
to it,
are
right?
actually
like
hurt, you don't show backstage footage of it. Like
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
And also like he did the
Yeah.
final what's his finisher called? Osprey.
Oh, the where he comes up behind Cheeky Nando's or whatever the fuck it's, or that's what he's called it
Cheeky
before.
Nando's.
Cheeky Nando's.
Yes, he hit him with a cheeky Nando's elbow to the back of the head, and then he won.
Isn't it named after that British fried chicken place
The
that he likes?
Stormbreaker.
It's not fried chicken.
It is, Andy. Look up
Stormbreaker.
Nando's chicken.
I've had
Stormbreaker and Hidden
Nando's.
Blade and Hidden
It's
Blade.
chicken, mate. It's fried chicken, mate.
Oh my god.
All right.
Oh,
Stormbreaker
so, I know, like-
and Hidden Blade.
Look up
Hidden Blade. That's what it is.
Look up, okay, do me one more thing, Jamie. Look up Will Ospreay Cheeky Nando's.
Okay, well, he's looking that up. I did remember a spot that I really liked was when Osprey went for the cutter. You know, when he bounces off the second rope and tries to do the cutter. When Danielson did this flying knee off of that, like as a counter, I thought that was a pretty cool counter, which I didn't see before. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
No.
It was good.
There was a lot going on, man, in this match.
Andy, was
And
there
also when
anything?
yeah.
I mean, no.
Nothing?
There's some Nando's restaurant.
Yeah, that's what he
Nando's
likes.
restaurant.
Yeah,
Okay.
cheeky.
Well, and then there's, and I looked
Nando's,
up Cheeky Nando's,
Nando's is good.
and it's I looked up Cheeky Nando's, and I found a Nando's logo tattoo on someone's ass. That's what popped up with Cheeky Nando's. So thanks.
Oh my god.
But yeah, this match was fantastic. It was
Yeah, one of the best matches I've.
Jamie,
It's
thank
hard
you.
to follow.
Jamie, thank you for that.
You're welcome. Hard to follow. Though.
Jamie, how's your stomach
Young
feeling
Buck.
right now?
It's feeling not great. Young Bucks defeated FTR in a ladder match to become the first ever 3-time AEW Tag Team Champions.
Another crazy match.
A fan
FTR
ran in the ring.
wrestled, as to answer our question from last week, FTR wrestled to their style a little bit. Dax
Yeah, it was always
Harwood
gonna
did
be
a
Young
fucking
Bucks,
moonsault, or Cash Wheeler did a fucking moonsault off a ladder.
Cash Wheeler was crazy in this match. I didn't know he could do
Dax,
some of these things.
As always, bled.
Yeah, do you think it's worse when he bleeds because he's bald? Like, it
Dude,
looks a
I
lot
was
worse.
thinking the same thing when I was watching.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
I was like, I think it just looks worse because there's no hair to
Because
soak it up.
the blood is the hair sometimes
It's like-
absorbs up some of the blood. So like
yeah,
and that's like Triple H's hair used to be all wet looking from it and stuff. And like but
Yeah.
when you're bald, there's nowhere to go except just running over the
Yeah.
tap.
yeah.
That's
It
why
was
when
just all
Stone-
over his head.
Dude, that's why when Stone Cold was bald, he looked awesome. Or when he was
This
when
match was good,
Stone Cold was
though.
bleeding.
There was
Yeah,
a lot of cool spots done in this match. Both teams are good, but in the end, Dax Hardwood was climbing up the ladder, and someone gets in the ring wearing a hoodie and a mask. The announcers say it's a fan. 2 security guards grab the guy, put him in the corner, take off his hood, take off his mask, and it is Jack Perry. Big pop, man.
yeah.
Maybe what
He's
they did
smiling,
with
too.
Jack Perry and all this shit has paid off in making him like
Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I
Hated-
think I might be a Jack Perry guy. Kinda in.
it was
After
well
all this-
executed.
No, but
This
hang
was
on, here's
well
the thing.
executed in the end.
It was all it's all
was.
still been terrible. The only
Yeah.
person this is gonna pay off for is Jack Perry.
It's Jack Perry.
yes.
For everybody else, it was bad.
Punk's
Yeah.
still not in the company, and he's making new stars or making bigger
Yeah.
stars. Man.
You know what? It's kind of like when what Jeff Hardy said to CM Punk at the diner drunk one night.
I
Now
made you a
CM Punk,
motherfucking
he can say, "I made
superstar."
Jack Perry a motherfucking superstar."
But now there's a new scapegoat shirt up in AEW shop. You can get.
Yeah.
The other one
I'll
was
buy for
horrible,
10.
so I hated that like logo thing. Just the shitty.
I feel like New
did
Japan
you
shirts.
see the new one? It says scapegoat and it's shattered glass, like cracked windshield glass.
That's funny.
I'm into that.
That's yeah.
I didn't like the New Japan shirt that just was shitty writing.
Yeah.
It looked like a
I
5-year-old.
feel like New
lady's shirt.
Japan
Shitty
shirts.
writing.
New Japan
It's
shirts. I
shitty
don't
writing
know. Don't
with
like hit
scapegoat.
with me.
Dude, That's why when they made that Bullet Club shirt, they were like, "Holy shit, we got something here."
Yes, right.
We got.
It was like 5 different versions the entire year.
They're like we're gonna need to keep this thing going for a while. We're gonna sell this shirt forever. And they were smart. WWE was like, "Can we buy that?" And they were like, "Nope."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I just texted it to you, Tim, the shirt, so you can take a look at that. You can plan your next buy with it. So yeah, Young Bucks won. Jack Perry interfered and helped them. And didn't he go into the crowd as he was getting pulled away and he was doing the elite, the 3 finger
Yeah,
thing?
the 3, yeah.
And Nicholas Jackson was like, the elite?
Yeah.
Like being confused. What do you think of that shirt, Tim? Do you love it? Are you gonna buy it?
I like it. It's a little, I don't know.
Dude, the Adam Cole Devilmatch shirt still goes hard.
Dude, yeah, but that's the thing with wrestling shirts. They can be so good or so bad. It's like no in between.
80%
they're bad,
20% cool.
They're bad.
When they're bad, they're unwearable.
Yeah.
Especially during Vince's
Well, now it's
time,
like the Bullet Club shirts I'm not going to wear because I got guns on them.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. If you wear the Bullet Club shirts, people like assume that you're like into like militia shit and like.
Oh, dude, I go to the gym with my Bullet Club tank top. It just has the logo here.
Oh yeah, dude. They're like, that guy loves guns. He's like, dude,
That's why
this
I
dude.
Assume that people think
this dude loves the First Amendment. He's in.
That's right.
Like this new Cody shirt, I'm looking on WWE Shop right now.
Cody shirts are unwearable, dude. I can't wear that.
It says in big the story, and then it's the title belt continues in big letters.
I hate it so
Yeah,
much.
that's awful. That's awful.
Big gold letters, dude.
I have his original American Nightmare from the Bullet Club one. That's the only one I ever liked.
That I have that too. I put it away because I liked it, and I'm way too large for it these days. But it's I'm losing weight, 15 pounds down. But it's put away. But that's his only good shirt, and even that,
I'm gonna buy Tim a shirt.
Even if I
the shirt
like,
that says,
you can't wear that in public.
"Do you want a Daddy's
You're
Back
associated
shirt?
with certain
RKO,
people.
Daddy's Back."
Dude, yeah, that shirt was fucking
Oh,
terrible.
Yeah.
What about CM Punk in front of the Drew McIntyre tombstone?
I don't like that. I don't like that shirt, like because
the memes.
That's a bedtime shirt.
Yeah.
That's a record the podcast shirt.
Yeah, watch pay-per-view with your friends and alone in the house with no women around.
There is a shirt on there. I'm gonna get you it, Tim. Instead of I'm a Paul Heyman guy, it's I'm a Paul Levesque guy.
See, like that, like I have the corny face shirt, and that's hard for me to wear sometimes. Like people will be like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "It's this guy."
When Matt Hardy was on the Indies, and doing his broken gimmick, I bought a shirt off of Pro Wrestling Tees, and I don't wear it out because right here it says "I am broken," and I'm like. I don't want anyone asking me how I'm doing.
Well, that's the thing. It's like Tim and I were talking about it when he was cutting my hair. Like when you have to explain wrestling to non-wrestling people. Like we were talking about like blading and those things. Like they stab themselves in the forehead.
If you explain that to somebody, they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah.
So wait, you watch?
It's the same thing as like a T-shirt.
Yeah,
they're like, they do. They do this thing where they take a little razor blade and they slice their head. The person's just looking at you like, "What the fuck?"
It's up cutting your wrist. You cut your forehead.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap it up with.
You got one match left.
Yeah. Swerve Strickland defeated Samoa Joe. Swerve Strickland defeated Samoa Joe for the AEW World Championship. Swerve Strickland came out as Killmonger from the Black Panther movie. He said during the media scrum that's why he came out as Killmonger because he's taking the throne. He didn't. It wasn't handed to him. He said he's taking it, which is something Killmonger basically talked about in the Black Panther movie. unlike the actual Black Panther T'Challa. So, a couple fun facts. You guys are Lancaster bound, and he went to high school, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he went to Donegal
There was an article
High School, I think it's called.
written.
Yeah, it's weird. I saw it when I was like going through my feed, and I'm like, Swerve is from here?
And what? It was saying that he was the first Black AEW champion?
Yeah, and it said all of that stuff, and he was apparently like a 3-sport athlete when he was in high school, and I was like, oh. Him and also the ref, not for this match, but like Bryce Remsburg, he's also from here.
I figured that because Tim has 5-starred his hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Adam Cole's brother, baby.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. I mean, I'm sure we're all happy Swerve won. We all wanted Swerve to win. We all thought it was time. Thoughts on the match? Do you think he meant to do a sunset flip off the top rope and like it felt weird, so he jumped down and instead just went in for the power bomb? You know, it's sunset flip.
Yeah.
You noticed that? You noticed that little thing there, and I went back and watched it, and I saw what you were talking about. I actually like that kind of stuff in wrestling sometimes because that's the stuff that makes it not
audible. I mean, he instantly was like, "Well, the end of this move is the power bomb."
But that's the stuff that makes it not look like a dance. It wasn't like a fluid, like he like hesitated and like
it's not choreographed.
Yeah.
Well, during the media scrum, it was mentioned that an audible was called, so I also figured that that's what was the audible.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, I didn't even like realize that
in a power bomb. So instead, he just, I mean, good for Joe for staying up there and trusting.
Yeah, and he still like was like he kind of acted like he was like, "Where'd he go?" Like sort of thing to like pause for a moment.
I think Swerve was too tall and too high up to loop around like that.
That was like the safe option. If it wasn't going to work, then just do the flip off. But that was cool. It worked, and then the finish was still smooth too.
I mean, Ospreay and Danielson could have ended the show, but with a new champion being crowned, I think it was the right choice for them.
No, this was the right way to end it. Yeah. And also, this was like the last chance really to crown Swerve, because if they didn't at this point, I think it would kind of like lose the steam as like if they went any further.
And I kept waiting for someone to come out. But then at the same time, I was like, nah, don't ruin his moment with the confetti.
Yeah, just let Swerve have it. Yeah.
I was like, just let him have it. But the match was solid. Both guys are great. We're all big Swerve fans.
I stayed up all night for that press conference, and I thought it sucked. I was like, this press conference sucks.
Oh, I went to bed. I was like, I'll listen to the press conference.
I was like, there's no muffins. There's no angry guy yelling at the reporters. I was like, this thing's boring.
It's like, bring back the angry man.
Yeah, where's
the angry man?
Oh, sorry, that's right. He's making huge money and being a huge star over in the other company. All right. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, overall, I enjoyed the pay-per-view. I wish I had been more invested storyline-wise into it, but other than that, I mean, Tony can make a mean card.
Mean card.
Yeah. Well, that was a thing that we were texting about in the group chat. Was like this Wednesday they have a chance to reset everything, but we'll see if they do it.
Yeah. You know what it is? Yeah. He can cook up a mean card, but he didn't cook it with love. You know, you got to cook it with love.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
good way to put it.
Sometimes you got to put a little salt and pepper in that bitch. It still tasted good though. It was damn good. I'm just saying. A little topping next time.
Could have been seasoned a little earlier, but it's still good.
Very good. No, and all jokes aside, the card was fucking incredible. Andy, is that wrapping it up for you? Well, guys, if that does wrap everything up, I only have one thing to say, and that is I'm Skeet Hansen, and you've just been skeeted in 720p. So
1080.
At least 1080p, not 4K. But hey, thank you all for listening to episode 127, and we will see you next week. Have a good one.